officers to provide security for Justice Lawrence Mugambi, claiming the previous detail was recalled for training.
For the last 2 years, how many cases has EACC won on corruption?
Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka involved in a heated altercation with EACC Deputy Chief Executive Officer Abdi Ahmed over claims of bribery within the commission.
After 1 week, the other week, we shall be able to see how the school will be reopened afresh.
Plus, Hillside and Arusha to be reopened and Kepser assessment done once victims of the ill-fated dormitory are laid to rest, with the DCI handing over the school back to the management. Well, K24 Evening Edition begins right now. I'm Alan Owino. Our sign language interpreter for this session is Clement Mule. The Office of the Controller of Budget, Margaret Nyakango, now says that it has no idea what happens with the housing levy, road maintenance levy, together with other levies collected by the government, despite being the office that controls the country's budget. Speaking while appearing before the Constitution Implementation Committee of the National Assembly, Nyakango also revealed that she has no mandate to report on economic projects and loans, saying this has been a loophole for corruption to thrive. Brian Amwai with the details.
How the money collected for the affordable housing through the housing levy is used is not a subject I'm privy to. These are the words of the Controller of Budget, Margaret Nyakango. Nyakango says her office has not been able to report on the road maintenance levy and the housing levy, indicating that the money does not pass through her hands despite being in charge of the budget.
Housing levy is one of those that doesn't go through my hands. Indeed, if you see levy somewhere, just know that it doesn't go through the COB. No. The moment you see levy, you know that one is on the side. Appearing before the Constitution Implementation Committee of the National Assembly, Nyakango revealed that her office has been paralyzed, calling on the Gathoni wa Mushomba-led committee to help ensure that it runs smoothly. The COB said despite calls from Kenyans to audit loans and find out how they are used, she does not have the mandate to report economic projects, saying this has opened a window for corruption.
That you have noted that you are not allowed to report on some economic... did I say something like that? Yes. Page 7. Is it page 7? Yeah, page 7. You are not allowed. Section 9(4) of the Act should be amended to allow the COB to report on all facets of budget implementation as envisaged in the Constitution. Under the existing provision, the COB is barred from reporting on economic development and outlook, including revenue, grants, loan forecast, and receipts. So it means that when we are building SGR, which is an economic development project, you are not allowed to report that. Then why is this office there if they cannot tell us how we spend money on economic development? Many of the reallocations are questionable because you have to ask, why would the money be removed from where it was initially, unless we can get evidence from where it was supposed to go initially, of somebody surrendering it and saying perhaps we don't have the capacity to undertake this project. So this is incomplete unless we know from the original destination that they do not need the money. That is the only way this can be relevant.
Following her dramatic arrest 9 months ago, which was termed as political witch hunt, the COB revealed that it has left her with fear, but maintains it will not prevent her from doing her job.
Madam Chair, sometimes I feel unsafe, but to the extent that the same law has protected me, I feel safe.
Nyakango also cited budgetary constraints, saying the 700 million allocated to her office is not enough in covering every part of the country, drawing comparisons with the Auditor General's office, which has a budget allocation of 9 billion shillings.
The budget of the COB is only 700 million. And we serve the whole country, every corner of the country, with 700 million. This is not as much as the overdraft interest that we pay to the CBK per month.
Brian Amwai, K24.
Acting Inspector General of Police Gilbert Masengeli has denied the Judicial Service Commission's assertion that withdrawal of Judge Lawrence Mugambi's security was a literary move. Masengeli says that withdrawn security were taken back for training, maintaining that there were replacements contrary to claims by Chief Justice Martha Koome. And as Martin Opio now reports, the Acting Inspector General of Police has appealed the ruling and is now seeking to have the 6-month sentence set aside until the conclusion of the appeal.
Hours after Chief Justice Martha Koome castigated the Acting Inspector General of Police, Gilbert Masengeli, and the National Police Service for withdrawing the security of Judge Lawrence Mugambi. Acting Inspector General of Police is denying advancing retaliatory gimmicks as alleged by the Judicial Service Commission.
Contrary to the allegation by the Judicial Service Commission, yesterday that the security details assigned to the Honorable Justice Mugambi has been thrown to intimidate the judge. We wish to clarify that allegation were ill-intended. Speaking during a session with traffic officers, the acting IG claimed that the withdrawn officers were taken back for training on VIP protection.
Good morning, sir.
He argues that a new team was dispatched in place of the withdrawn ones.
In case of Honorable Justice Mugambi, the 2 security officers in question are general duty officers, and they were therefore recalled to attend VIP protection, security training, and also were replaced by 2 VIP protection officers from the Judicial Police Unit.
But the timings are raising eyebrows as the withdrawal came just hours after Judge Mugambi sentenced the acting IG to 6 months imprisonment.
Contemner, Mr. Gilbert Masengeli is sentenced to 6 months imprisonment. Mr. Masengeli is ordered to submit himself to the Commissioner General of Kenya Prisons to ensure that he is to be committed to a prison facility to commence serving sentence of the imprisonment imposed.
Still last week, Judge Lawrence Mugambi demanded that Police Commandant VIP Protection Unit Lazarus Opicho appear before the court to explain why he demanded through his security detail to know his whereabouts. They said police officers would be withdrawn over the weekend. Instead, the IG is laying claims of attempts to interfere with the independence of the police, which he claims can make changes at any given time.
The independent command and control of police is vested in the Inspector General. Other than the CS Interior that may give policy direction to the IG, no person may give direction to the IG with respect to the employment, assignment, promotion, suspension or dismissal of any member of the National Police Service in accordance with Article 245(4), Section C of the Constitution. Other than the President, the Deputy President, and the retired Presidents, no other Kenyans are entitled by the law to be provided with the personal security detail. Owing to the role of the judiciary, the National Police Service recently established the Judicial Police Unit purposely for protection of the judiciary and its officials.
Masengeli's action and that of the National Police has continued to withdraw wide condemnation, with Association of Judges who are speaking in Kisumu, led by their President Patrick Otieno, have termed the actions as clear threat and aimed at intimidating the judiciary and their independence.
We take this as an acceptable direct onslaught on the judge's office, an undisguised threat and intimidation to the judge as a consequence of his discharge of judicial duty. We see it as an onslaught on both the Constitution and the rule of law. It is an assault on the office of all judges in Kenya and the institution they serve. We see Inspector Riri as the face and instrument of this violation.
They have threatened to head to the courts while demanding an apology from the IG.
And now issue a notice that we shall take all legal measures, including moving the court to declare him unfit to hold a public office. We remind Inspector Riri that he, the officers he has withdrawn, and all his superiors, including the Inspector General, like all public and state officers, work for Kenyans and merely execute a delegated mandate from the people.
Masengeli has already filed an appeal on the ruling and is seeking to have the Court of Appeal suspend his conviction until the appeal is heard and determined. Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Away from that, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musoka has called on President William Ruto to suspend Acting Inspector General of Police Gilbert Masengeli from office for disrespecting the court by violating its orders as well as intimidation of the judge presiding over his case. This call has been supported by other leaders and human rights organizations. Hockey Africa has threatened to have Masengeli arrested as a civilian if he does not surrender as ordered by the court within the 7-day deadline which expires on Thursday. David Kagina has more.
Following the withdrawal of Justice Lawrence Mugambe's security detail, days after he sentenced Acting Inspector General of Police Gilbert Masengeli to 6 months imprisonment for contempt of court, there has been considerable dissatisfaction from various quarters. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musoka has joined in the fray, calling on President William Ruto to dismiss Masengeli from his position and ensure that he is held accountable.
We are very clear, we are very unhappy. If Ruto should actually just dismiss his fellow, not even, I know there will be somebody waiting to take over Kanja or somebody, all right? But even before Kanja takes over, a man like this should go home. Not only go home, but be held responsible for trying to drive this country backwards in a very primitive way.
Other leaders, including NAC Kenya's Martha Karua and Third Way Alliance Chief Ekuru Okot, have expressed concerns that other police officers might follow the president of defying court orders, thus undermining the authority of independent government agencies as stipulated by the Constitution.
We are looking into a jungle country. Anarchy. We are looking into anarchy, because if the policemen do not respect the orders of the court, then what do you expect Kenyans to do? This is anarchy in the making.
It's actually a very primitive attack, if I may call it so. Unexplainable. That man should not qualify to hold any public office.
Civil society organizations, led by Hockey Africa, have threatened to take action, including removing Acting Inspector General Masengeli from office as civilians if he does not comply with the court orders that requires him to report to court within 7 days, which lapse on Thursday.
Hockey Africa calls on the acting IG to comply with the court order and present himself before the court. Should he fail to do so, we urge the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Interior to ensure his arrest and detention. If these steps are not taken, we the citizens will invoke Section 35 of the Criminal Procedure Code and Article 1 to carry out citizens' arrest and ensure his compliance with the law. No one is above the law.
Hockey Africa is also demanding that the security officers attached to the judge be reinstated, stating that all orders given by Masengeli are currently unlawful.
Kwa hivyo hana uwezo wa kisheria wa kutoa amri yoyote. Ndio nasema hata corporal, hata constable anaweza kumshika na akampeleka mahakamani. Kwa hivyo amri yoyote ambayo ameitoa sahihi baada ile conviction, it is illegal, null and void kisheria.
If Masengeli does not report to court by Thursday, he will be required to serve a 6-month sentence for defying a court summon 7 times, where he was required to account for the whereabouts of Bob Njagi, Jamil Longton and his brother Askam Longton, who went missing from Kitengela on August 19, 2024.
Article 132, Subarticle 1C of our Constitution, once every year, the President shall report in an address to the nation on all the measures taken and the progress achieved in realization of the national values referred to in Article 10.
David Kagina, K24, Nairobi.
Well, that report by David Kagina brings us to a fast break right on K24 Evening Edition. We'll be back with more in a short while.
StarTimes Sports all month long. Buy a StarTimes decoder at our business halls or dealership countrywide to experience passion from the heart of Saudi Arabia's most electrifying football league.
This is absolutely wonderful.
Renew your subscription today. The thrill of every La Liga goal, the intensity of every Bundesliga match.
Coming down.
Feel the passion, the power, and the pride of world-class football as the best teams battle it out for the sound of victory. Renew your subscription today. StarTimes. Enjoy.